Hi, welcome to How to Repair. Today we're going to be fitting a new oven into the kitchen unit, but this new oven is controlled with a circuit board. Whether you have a double oven or a single oven, we'll be discussing the correct cabling size that you need and understanding the circuitry coming from the fuse board to the actual appliance so you do not have any problems in the future. Let me explain. More modern cookers today are using circuit board technology. And it is very important that voltage and the adequate ampage supply is able to get to the cooker. If you end up with what they call voltage drop on the circuit, this can actually cause circuit boards to blow. Let me explain in layman terms. If you have a single spur cable coming to a cooker, but someone has added an additional socket to that spur which they shouldn't have, or you may have an extension lead running to the appliance and the cable is inadequate. What can actually happen when the cable is overloaded? It is unable to carry the amount of ampage to the cooker. Therefore, you end up with what you call voltage drop. This can cause havoc with new modern electronics. Modern circuit boards today have not only software built into the actual board, they are controlled with sensors and also relays. And if these voltages and ampages are not correct going to the cooker, it can cause the circuit boards to blow. So in this video, I'll be showing you what the correct cabling should be for the double ovens and also the single ovens. And I'll try and explain the circuit coming from your consumer board to the actual appliance and making sure that you understand that you're not overloading the cable, not only for the safety of the appliance, but for the safety of your household. Okay, first thing you want to do is give yourself some space. So I'm going to slide this cooker over. And I've also got a crate or something, adequate to support the weight of the cooker when we slide it out. If you're doing this with a double oven, you will need to use something like a small table or workbench, which you can put a towel over to protect it. And then when you slide the cooker out, it's very important to have it supported. Not because you may do damage to the cooker, because you do not know the cabling connection behind. You may have just moved into the house and replacing the cooker, or you don't remember how it was fitted before, and you don't know how long the cable is or how badly it was installed. This cooker is actually connected to my workbench, so it's not a problem. I can just unplug it and disconnect it from the electricity supply. But your house will vary massively with regards to this. Now, cookers can be connected, literally hidden sockets behind drawers, maybe in an adjacent cupboard, or it may be connected directly behind the cooker. But what you do not know is the cable length. Now, to take the cooker out, there are normally 2 to 4 screws on single ovens, 2 to 6 screws on double ovens, and it will be inside the 2 cavities on double ovens. So you may have a screw inside here and a screw at the top, or you may have 6 in total altogether. This has got 2 screws, and we're just going to undo these. Once that's undone, I suggest holding the cooker inside, lifting slightly, and sliding it out. Then normally there are handles on the side, and you might need an additional person to help you. Okay, now we're ready to actually turn the cooker around sideways. But while doing this, you want to look inside the cupboard to make sure you're not overstretching the cable and it's pulling on the cooker. Because remember, it still could be live. Once you've got access to the cable and you're able to release a little bit of slack, we can now look at the junction box. But at this point, it's very important that we isolate the power. I have already disconnected this cooker from the mains electric. You may have a plug now which you're able to unplug from behind the cooker. You may have a hardwired cooker, meaning this cable is actually fitted into a junction box in the wall, but it may have an isolation switch which you need to turn off. Or you may have to go to the fuse board and isolate the cooker this way. But what you really want to do is get your multimeter, set it up onto 240 or 220 volts, depending on where you are in the world. And before you start handling any of the cables, and I'll just zoom in for you here, this junction box has only got 2 clips that we need to release. And they can be quite sticky, and you have the junction box here. But what we really want to do is setting the meter to 240, test across the 2 wires. Live and neutral, we have no voltage present. This means it's safe to work on. We can now disconnect the actual wires. Neutral, make sure it goes to the appropriate place. Live, release the screw on that. And the earthing wire, which goes to the chassis of the cooker. We also have a clip that holds the cable in place. Unclip that and the wires will come away. We can now take the cooker away and actually replace it with the new one. Okay, moving the cooker out of the way. Getting the new cooker. Now, whenever removing packaging, make sure you're not actually cutting where you can actually mark the cooker. So just cut on the edges. Then we can remove the top. I always feel that the packaging on new cookers is very inadequate when you consider the cost of them. Sliding this cooker around. Now, the first thing you want to be doing is looking around the cooker for the identification plate, which should say the wattage that this appliance uses. And I'm looking at the top, nothing on there, nothing on the back. Nothing on the side. Opening the door, and there is an identification label which I'll bring round for you. Okay, we'll just open the door. Now, the label for this cooker is on the inside on the left-hand side. It may be on the right-hand side, or a lot of manufacturers are putting it down the bottom here. The label will actually have not only the wattage of the cooker, it will also have your full model number. The problem being here is over a period of time you will be cleaning the cooker and these numbers can wear off. So it's worth taking a picture and keeping it in your storage cloud or somewhere safe so you've actually got that number in future when you need parts. Now we'll just remove everything out of the oven, the standard literature, and you've also got a gauze filter with this oven. This is because it's working on AeroPerfect technology, as they call it, which is another gimmick that the manufacturers seem to be coming out with nowadays. Basically saying it's the same as an air fat fryer, which it is, because an air fat fryer is no different to a conventional fan oven, really. It just actually cooks faster because of the smaller cavity and the forced air around the system. They actually are more efficient because it's a smaller cavity. Look at the space you've got to heat up here. Anyway, just remove all the stuff out of this. Very well packaged. Polystyrene everywhere. We'll need to clean that out before we use the cooker. Okay, we found the identification label and it's inside the door here. But this is a bit of information that you're going to thank me no end over the next few years. Firstly, take a picture of your identification label, because two things I can guarantee you're going to do over the next 5 years. One, you're going to put that manual that holds the other information on your cooker into a drawer and you'll never find it again. The abyss. Secondly, you're going to be cleaning your cooker regularly. This means the information on the identification label, which can either be here, here, or here on most manufacturers, will wear away. This means that when you come to order parts for your cooker in 4 or 5 years' time, you will not have the relevant information that I need to be able to give you the correct parts for your cooker. I must say Beko have been very thoughtful and they've put a secondary label on top of the machine here. And this has also got the identification number on it. But a lot of manufacturers only actually print the label inside the door. Now, when it comes to the wiring of the cooker, this is very important. Most people make the mistake of just thinking they can swap over the cabling from this cooker to this cooker. Incorrect. We need to understand the wattage and the ampage being drawn, because English plugs are only capable of carrying 13 amps. This cooker here is 2,100 watts of power. Dividing that with Ohm's law principle, 2,100 watts divided by the voltage, which is 240 volts, gives us an equation of 8.7 amps thereabouts. This means that we can run it on a plug. Our new cooker is 3.3 kilowatts, 3,300 watts of power. Dividing that by the voltage, 240 volts, gives us an ampage of 13.75 amps, which is exceeding the capability of running on a plug. This cooker actually has to be wired into a junction box on the wall. Okay, when it comes to actually wiring up the cable, the instructions are normally on the back of the cooker, or consult your manual. The live is on the left here, the neutral is on the right, and the earth goes below. But when it comes to the cabling, have a look at your existing cable. If it looks nice and shiny like this and a clear goldish colour, then you know it's in good condition. Twist them tightly, make sure that they are nice and tight, and then we can actually insert the cable. I normally put these in, and I'll zoom in for you here. If you look closely here, you've got the 3 screws, earth, live, neutral. I always try to put the cable in on the left-hand side of the screw. This means that as you do the screw up, it pulls the cable tightly in. Now I brought the camera close up for you. If you look closely at the tips of the copper here, you can see it's a nice bright gold colour. If it's black in any way, replace the cable. So I excuse if the camera goes slightly out of focus because I'm doing this very close up. In on the left-hand side, so as you do the screw, it actually pulls the cable in. Then we'll do the neutral. Now we can put the cable connector. And there we go. The cover goes down and just clips into place. Quick tip, before putting the cooker back in, it's well worth giving it a clean. It's only once every couple of years that this cooker ever comes out, and it's well worth giving it a clean at that point as well. Sliding the cooker over now on the case, I'm able to lift it up into location, slide it all the way back. Now you want to make sure that your gap that runs down the side on each side is even and no drawers or anything else are interfering with the actual oven. I've already plugged the oven in to double check my work, and I'm just going to open the door now, and you've normally got 2 screw holes where you put the screws. Now I see a lot of people just piling the screws into the woodwork without any care in making sure that they line up correctly. Once you're happy where the cooker is, just with a small pilot drill, if you go into the cupboard nice and square, and I'll zoom in on the other side for you, just go in the center of the hole, and you're able then to put the new screws in. All you need to do is just nip them up. They don't need to be over tight. And there you go. Make sure you clean out the oven. Take any polystyrene, any of these blue stickers, take off the oven because you don't want them burning. Fit the interior, and then do take the time to learn the programming on the timer once you've set the clock. Remember, if you do have any questions with regards cookers and ovens, I do need your full brand and model number to be able to assist you. So do take note of that. And if we really helped you, don't forget you can support the website by buying the parts off us and even donating to the website by clicking on the Buy Paul a Beer page. And this goes to supporting the website. Thanks very much indeed for watching.